Hi everyone, and welcome to Happy Trails Hiking. Today is Tuesday, and on Tuesday, we talk about travel. I'm very excited about this show because I have a guest. I don't have to talk to myself today. It'll be fantastic. I do want to tell you a few things that are going on Happy Trails Hiking during the month of May before we get started with our guest. So today, I will have a video coming out at 4:45 Central Time about Starved Rock State Park over in Illinois. And for the last 3 days, you've seen videos coming out from me called Park Travel Shorts. It is a challenge to myself to put out travel videos every single day in the month of May. And I am very excited about the response that I've gotten from those park travel shorts. So if you are interested in park travel and planning park travel, let me encourage you to take a look at that playlist. Thank you all for coming today. It is wonderful to see you. I want to say hi to Inspired John, who was here before we got started, Outdoor Nomad, Deb Shane, Marty's Crew, Our Family Adventure, and Rachel Rawson. It's good to see you guys so far, and if you guys will help me welcome the other folks who come into the chat, because we're going to get started on our interview. Today, I have a wonderful guest with me, and I met her on Twitter under @HikeAdventures, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, there's hikers, and I get to talk to hikers, and that's going to be so fun. But come to find out that Brandy is an avid traveler and loves to enjoy time in the great outdoors. No adventure is complete unless she learns something new. So she sneaks in some amazing museums, historical markers, and national parks, and a national park stop whenever possible. One of Brandy's passions is to educate, encourage, and help her children, grandchildren, and others develop a love for the outdoors and help learn to leave no trace. We love that here too. Brandy writes for her blog, Gleason Family Adventure, and various other publications in print and online. She enjoys working with others to create great content about amazing places and things to do. She's married to her husband, Matt, and he is as she says, the financier of all of her crazy adventures. They have 8 children and 3 grandkids, and they live in Ohio. Guys, will you please help me welcome Brandy to the show? Brandy, thank you for coming today.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me. Yay.
Oh, you're welcome. This is fantastic. So, Brandy and I have gotten to know each other a little bit better in the last week or so. And we found out that we're about the same age. And since she's wearing her glasses, our glasses look alike, and we both have long brown hair. No, she's not my sister, I swear. But I'd be your sister. That's okay. We can start that if you want. Never mind.
I totally would be your sister.
Okay, thanks. Lori, we've got a new addition to the family. And Lori Bryant is here, and she is my sister. So everybody is saying welcome and hello. It's good to see everybody here today. If you all could do me a favor and share this out, that would be helpful. And because you know all of the streaming that is going on right now, and people have a lot of things going on online, and notifications aren't going out. But if you guys could share this out, that would be amazing. Thank you so much. And Lori says, hello, new sister Brandy. Well, Brandy, let's get into this. One of my very favorite questions for bloggers and writers on is to ask you how you got started with your blog, Gleason Family Adventure.
And I think that is a great question. I got started because I've homeschooled for 22 years and have 8 children. I had 5 at home at the time, and all of a sudden, going into the second semester of the school year, the online school got shut down. It was quite traumatic for me thinking about how I was going to homeschool our kids without the online help. And so I decided to look into national parks, state parks, metro parks, things like that, and decided to do a unit study with the kids. We would do science and history using those ways to learn. So I started a blog and started keeping track of what we were doing. And my husband came to me and said, hey, babe, I think learning about these things are great, but let's go to some places and let's do a backcountry hike. So we decided to go to Rocky Mountain National Park, and we backcountry hiked up to Fern Lake with our children, and we taught them all the things they needed to do to be safe in the outdoors. And we used it as school, And then I started an Instagram page, which would keep track of the pictures so I could download them into Chatbook and make a yearbook at the end of the school year. So that's how Gleason Family Adventure got started. It was a pure accident.
Oh, wow. So how long have you been writing on Gleason Family Adventures now?
So Gleason Family Adventure has only been around about 2.5, 3 years.
Okay.
And we have been traveling for years. I love the hashtag learn by going. So to me, when you go and do something, whether it's hiking, a museum, on a trip, you don't go and learn something new, you've kind of missed what the community might be about or what the trail has. We hiked in Fontana Lake, and learning the history and how that lake came to be, and hiking into the woods and seeing all the abandoned buildings is absolutely amazing. So I like to learn those little nuggets and meet the people in the community.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Pardon me. Inspired John says, OMG, 8 children. I have 1 and I'm scratching the walls right now. And Marty's crew, our family adventure, says a bigger crew than ours for sure. Wow. Marty's crew is from Kansas and has 4 kids. And
awesome.
They always have extra kids that go with them on their hiking adventures. And they started their YouTube channel because they wanted to get their kids out and enjoying family time rather than staying in all the time. So that was very cool. And
that's a good reason for sure.
I think so too. Wandering Wiley is here, and he's a subscriber and a follower along. So welcome, Wiley. We're happy to have you here. How old your oldest and is your youngest?
Okay, so our oldest is 27 and our baby is 12. And so they range about every 2 years in between there. The 3 grandkids are almost 2 of them are almost 2, and then a 6-month-old.
Oh, wow.
So the family keeps growing and keeps me super busy.
Well, that's great. Very fun. So I guess my second question for you is, do you always travel as a family?
No, thank the Lord.
Oh.
Sometimes Matt and I get to go alone. We actually got off a cruise on March 15th. And if anybody knows of what's going on right now, we were the last cruise to dock in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh my gosh.
On March 15th.
Was that the Zonkers?
Quite the trip.
Wow. So Fort Lauderdale to
Ohio,
it was
scary.
Then.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. Because I've heard so many stories of people trying to get out of Florida. Were you stuck in traffic?
No, we flew. We actually ended up buying tickets home early. And so this was supposed to be Matt and I. We've been married 27 years. We were on a 9-day cruise to the Caribbean. And COVID-19 made it the most exciting, interesting trip that there ever was on the high seas, I can assure you.
Well, I'm glad you got to get off of your ship.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, after all of that. But yeah, so I do want to tell the folks in the chat that if you have questions for Brandy, we would love to have you ask them in the chat, and I will, I'll get those to her. If you'll put at Happy Trails Hiking, that will help. However, Inspired John does have a question. What do you use to carry all those kids all those places?
Yeah, so when we had all the kids at home, we had a 15-passenger maxi van. I had little stickers on the back windows to adults and 8 little arrows that kind of followed behind us. So we had a camper that slept 10, and we took the kids all over the United States, and we love to camp. So the 15-passenger van is great. We now have a GMC Yukon, which fits everybody and a couple grandkids when we go.
That works. That's awesome. So you have covered many Ohio state parks on your blog, and I do want to show your blog here in just a second. Do you work with them often? Because we don't work with Missouri state parks, we just cover them. So do you work with them often, and what projects do you have going on right now?
Well, that's a great question. Ohio State Parks is somebody that I reached out to, and we've talked on and off. I've got to meet them and talk to them a lot. We had some projects that we were going to work on this year, but we've think those might get pushed out to 2021, but we'll see. Yeah, I will reach out to them and we do some camping. We'll do some hikes and let them know where we're going to be. One time we were at Old Man's Cave camping just on our own, and they reached out via Instagram and said, go down to the visitor center parking lot. We've got something we want to share and you just happen to be there. Can you put it up there? And so they'll reach out like that. So it's not any paid partnerships or anything like that. We just love to collaborate with them to promote our state parks, which are free, by the way, which is an amazing thing. So
that's awesome. And you were telling me before we started the show that they've got a challenge going on right now. So can you tell me more about this challenge?
Absolutely. So if you get on my Instagram, it is maybe about the fifth square down right now. It's 31 days in May and you're outside, and it has little things you can do. Yesterday was flip a rock over and observe what's underneath. And I took my 2-year-old granddaughter out. We found there were some worms and a centipede and a few other bugs under there. Then after we're done, we flip the rock back. So we've been taking some pictures and enjoying that. So one of them is to roll down a hill. Not sure if that will be me or the 12-year-old rolling down the hill, though.
Speaking of Instagram, I just happen to have that.
Oh, perfect.
And yeah, this is for May. So I thought these were really cool. Find 3 different flowers, hug a tree that you can't get your arms around. I think that this is wonderful. Do some of you all have things going on in your local parks like this? I know that social distancing is a thing now, but are you guys, and I know Ohio has been one of the strictest. Have you guys been able to get out in your parks and things?
Yeah, for us, we have gotten out in our parks. Although I will tell you, we have been very, very mindful to, do what we've been asked to do, which is to stay home and to stay local. So we've just used Columbus Metro Parks, Delaware Preservation Parks are near us. So we like to go to those. We have not tried to go too far because they actually have said in their newscasts that they would prefer us to stay close to home. Cuyahoga National Park even came out and said, if you don't live in our area, please, visit your local parks right now. So we've really been mindful of that, but we have been doing our local parks.
Yes. We have been too. I do want to say hello to Down the Rabbit Hole. She's from Canada and has kids at home now too, and is a teacher. And I knew that she would love Gleason Family Adventures. So, but anyway, yeah, we've been trying to stay around home some here too. For the month of March, we traveled. We got home the Wednesday before you guys did when we went to visit our parents in Tennessee, and then but we didn't go anywhere except for the grocery store all of March. But then in April, we started venturing out trying to find rainy days to go and hike, because we are in a metro area, and that if there's no soccer, no baseball, no any other sports or things that people can play and do, they take their kids outside, which is wonderful. But it does crowd our parks quickly, makes social distancing hard. But anyway, all right. So my stereotypical questions for every single blogger that I have on here is, what do you like best about travel writing?
Ooh, what do I like best about travel writing? I think for me, travel writing is meeting the people that I go into the communities. That's my favorite part, is writing about what they love and what has made that community so amazing. If we miss the story, if we miss the people behind the community, then we really haven't learned or seen what the area is truly about. So when I go, I like to meet the curators of museums, because they have a wealth of information in their heads from what has happened, what is happening in the community. So that's my favorite part about travel writing, is I get to share the story about a community. And so that makes, and I hope that makes people want to go there and to see what has happened or is happening in that community.
Awesome. Yes. So what is, well, I'm going to make this a two-parter. One, do you have a favorite place that you've gone? Oh, and if I were to travel to your area, what is the best place to take my kids?
Okay. Favorite area. I'm going to stick with the Midwest because I love the Midwest and I'm thankful that we get to be in this area. So my favorite place right now is Southern Ohio. So we are reading The Pioneers to our children right now, and that's by McCullough. And it's about Marietta, Ohio, and the history of Ohio and how Ohio became a great state here. And so this story starts in Marietta. So we're going to be taking our kids down to Marietta because they haven't been there yet. But we have been to Morgan County, and Morgan County is where the Big Bottom Massacre happened. And we stayed in the Stockport Mill, which was right across the Muskingum River. You could look out over to where Big Bottom took place. There's locks that are historic locks down there that the boats go in and out of, and they're still run by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. So I think Southern Ohio, down in that area, is the most underappreciated part of Ohio. And so I want people to go visit there because when I got there, I was totally taken by surprise.
Wow, that's awesome. So to take your kids, where would be a great place to take your kids?
I'm going to give this a two-parter, if that's okay.
Perfect.
So if you're an outdoorsy type person, we have Columbus Metro Parks and Delaware Preservation Parks here within my area. Both places have natural play areas where there's zip lines, there's logs to build with. They have all kinds of really neat things that they have put into our parks. Now, like you mentioned, Ohio is one of the more strictest states about the social distancing and things right now. So these areas are blocked off. So bear that in mind. But when they do open back up, that is an amazing place to take your kids. And then we have some great museums here in the Central Ohio area. I would highly recommend COSI, which is a science center. It's very hands-on, has lots of different things you can do. And we also have the National Veterans Memorial and Museum, which is right across the street from COSI. So you can do a double hitter and hit both museums. And then if you love to eat, the Spaghetti Warehouse, these are all within a walking distance of each other. You can take your kids to the Spaghetti Warehouse and eat inside the trolley. It's an old warehouse that they've made into a restaurant, and it has all kinds of neat things on the inside. So those would be the two places in Central Ohio, the parks and COSI and the museums in that area.
Nice. Marty Square Family Adventure says, forget the kids, I want to go. I want to go too.
I know. Come to Ohio in 3 weeks.
In 3, when you're allowed to go again. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. I do want to say hello to Gemma's Journey Grace, who is from the UK, and Gemma is a regular here on our show. So thanks, Gemma, for popping in. This is Brandy Gleason from Gleason Family Adventure, and we're talking to her today about travel. Hey, can I show your blog, and you talk to me a little bit about Hocking Hills, because it's one of those state parks I hear about all the time.
Yes.
And I think I pulled up the right one. This is Conkle's Hollow Rim Trail in Hocking Hills State Park.
Okay. So Hocking Hills actually is a state park that's closed right now. It is the only state park in the state that's closed. The trails are very narrow, and so they were concerned about the social distancing. So if you come to Ohio, that is one park you can't go to right now. However, it is the crown jewel, in my opinion, of Ohio state parks. The trail you brought up is the Conkle's Hollow Rim Trail. This is actually a nature preserve in the area. It's in the Hocking Hills State Park location. This, you cannot have animals at this one. So Hocking Hills State Park, you can take your dog, but in the, the Hocking Hills has great camping. There's waterfalls, there's rappelling. There's all kinds of things you can do. It's, we practiced our backcountry hiking there. We would put our backpacks on and we would hike. It's very rigorous for Midwest, okay?
Gotcha.
It's certainly not the Rocky Mountains.
Right. Yeah, I understand. Let's see, All Things Ohio. Would that be a better one to go to? Since I picked the wrong one.
No, you picked a good one. That one is in the Hocking Hills area. When you go, it is on all the maps. I just wanted to make the differentiation
Of
because
course.
our resource areas and our state parks have different rules for hiking.
Oh, well, yes, ours do too. So in Missouri, we have the Department of the conservation areas, and
Hmm.
totally different than
Yeah.
that. And Marty's Cruise is rappelling. I'm their dude, and
Yeah,
I
the
don't think
place,
he's calling us dudes, but
that's all right. I can totally be a dude.
okay.
The rappelling is a really great that you can rappel in the state park, or you can go out with one of the adventure groups.
Mhm.
I can't think of the name of the one we go to, but it's definitely in the blog
Okay,
uh, where we go. If you look up maybe the best place to rappel and rock climb in the blog, it'll bring it up.
gotcha. All right, cool. I am actually going to home. I'm going to share your blog in the chat right now. Make sure that people know where to find you. It's a beautiful blog, by the way. It's, yeah, I mean, look at that, guys. Just look. It's just beautiful photos. And yeah, wonderful ways to find things. So here are the latest blog entries: Ohio adventures, family friendly adventures, and then state and national parks. So, just for my own edification, what's your favorite national park?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Favorite national park? I always say Great Smoky Mountains. And the reason I say that is because it's close to where I live. I can be there in 6 hours. So if I pick Yellowstone, I only get to go there every 20 years. You know,
Gotcha.
I love the park. I think it's really neat. However, I'm always drawn to the Great Smoky Mountains because I can get there and I can really get hiking. I can camp. I can also eat food because there's Pigeon Forge. You know, there's all kinds of neat stuff to do there. So that's kind of a great place to be.
Hello to the new folks in our room, Music SR Raja, as well as Food Forest Permaculture. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate you being here. This is Brandy from Gleason Family Adventure. I do have a few more questions for you, but please,
Okay.
I did drop her blog in there. Make sure that you stop by and say hello afterwards. So, continuing about travel writing, what's the hardest part about being a travel writer?
Ooh, the hardest part is trying to highlight all the things that you love without being too wordy. I can be wordy. So you start to write and there's so much to say and there's so much you want to share, but you have to keep it readable. So I think that's the hardest part because
Right.
I
That's
just,
why I video. It's because I can talk about stuff and show it at the same time, and then people don't have to read. And I don't have to
yeah.
proofread.
Well, yeah, you've been encouraging me to do that.
Yes. Video. Go be a vlogger. I would love it. Do you have a YouTube channel? There.
I do. There's a whole few of like 10 videos on there.
Okay.
We did buy the equipment. So we have the equipment. I've just been trying to con my teenagers to be our videographers and to learn how to do that. I think it would be a great homeschooling project for them to learn how to do that. So I have kind of tried to take a back seat and no one has stepped up to the plate yet. So,
Okay, well, I'll just give them an assignment. I have a video editing assignment that I used to do with a video class that I taught for a semester. I'll just send it to you.
there we go. That would work.
Just kidding. All right. So I agree about, yeah. I don't have the problem of not being too wordy. I have the problem of not being able to tell enough stories when I'm writing, but that's all right. All right, so what is your dream destination or tour? Where do you want to go the mostest? Oh, she froze. That's no fun. Well,
Dream destination or tour. Okay.
You're back. You're good. Keep going.
Okay, perfect. So my dream destination or tour is to take the Rocky Mountain train ride to Banff in Canada. It is okay, there's like first class, second class, and third class. I could afford third class, and I don't care. Third class would be wonderful. I want to go. It's a great scenic trip, and I would love to get to Canada to see all the beauty up there. So that is like the dream trip.
That sounds amazing. We'll go. I'll
Come along.
I'll be a third class person too, or come in your luggage. That might be all I can afford right now. So just so you know, Brandy, there is a bit of a delay, but Marty's crew says, and it's not our fault. It just happens. It is the way that YouTube works. But Marty's crew says that would be cool. Kid cams are fun. So like Marty's crew has all teenagers now, but like 12, 13 through 16-ish. But anyway, and so he hands the camera to their kids and they'll, talk to the camera and show their things. So it's a fun part of their videos too. So Food Forest Permaculture is from Canada and says Banff is awesome. He's from Vancouver Island though. So I keep telling him whenever I get up there, I'm going to find him in his food forest. But all right. And then I guess I'm done with my last with my questions. I just wanted to give you the opportunity to say anything else that you would like to share. If you have merch that you want to push or anything like that, I would love to have you share that at this time. Oh no, she froze again. There's a lot of people using the internet. She's got teenagers at her house, so we're good. Hopefully she'll come back. Oh my goodness. And Inspired John says Banff. Oops. Yeah, he was spelling things wrong. That's all right. Is she gonna be back? Oh no. Oh. She's been in and out beforehand. Anyway, I'm gonna show her blog one more time before we leave. I do want so I found these entries really cool. 5 Ohio trips you can take with your family. And why we started backcountry hiking as a family. And I think that Marty's crew would really enjoy this one right here, by the way. And then I haven't explored enough of Ohio, so I really want to check out, I want to reread this one, but 5 Ohio road trips you can take with your family. And then toboggan shoot adventure in Cleveland. And see, she's back. There we go.
I'm in the laundry room now by the router.
Okay, that's helpful. That's helpful. And then I was just telling them about your blog a little bit and some of the blogs that I enjoyed. And so hopefully they'll go check those out. But Bob's Backyard Barbecue in Lancaster, Ohio would be.
Yeah, I wrote that one because they're a small family-owned business, and I wanted to highlight a location that we'd been to that might be struggling during the COVID-19 crisis. So they're doing all carry out. So we've been trying to promote like destinations that we love because it's a really hard time for a lot of people.
Yeah, support your local businesses. Exactly. I've been buying from our local meat market and our local produce market a lot. So that's been good. All right. So question was, is there anything that you would like to share with our audience before we go?
Just that make sure you get outside. I think during COVID-19, this has been a really difficult time for everybody. And I think there's healing and mental clarity that kind of comes when we get outdoors. So if you don't do the 31 days outdoors in May, do something else. Make some challenges for yourself. Try to get outside, go for hikes. And my biggest message is leave no trace. So when you go outside, make sure that you leave it like you found it. So those are my biggest hits.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Brandy, for being here today. It's been a pleasure to get to talk to you and introduce you to my community.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Well, if you'll hang out for just a minute, I'll finish out the show and then I'll be back to talk to you for a minute or so.
All right. Sounds good, Kay.
Thanks. All right, guys. Today I need you have a lot of homework from me today. Today I need you to go over to GleasonFamilyAdventure.com. Tell Brandy that you saw her on Happy Trails Hiking. Leave her a comment on one of her blogs that you think you would enjoy. And tell her that you saw her on the show today. Oh, and follow her on Instagram because she's got some awesome Instagram stories and things like that. 2, make sure that you come back and leave a comment down below when this is over so that YouTube knows that I did a good job and that you want to engage with the show. So, engagement matters, and I appreciate that. But the biggest thing I need you to do for me today is go out and live the life you love today. Stay safe, and remember, you are not replaceable. I appreciate you, and I will see you on Friday. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.